the objective is to educate and empower you about movement. So you understand breath control, you understand contracting your muscles, you understand form and the anatomical planes and all the things that I teach. And these things I impart into our members. It's like a whole language that they learn that generally they wouldn't learn if they just went to a personal trainer.
Happy New Year. I am Alisha Payne with the Woman Up Nation, here to elevate, educate, and empower women to walk in purpose, live in passion, and operate in power. We discuss all things that impact and improve the lives of women all across the world. And I'm so glad today that I have a powerful woman who's impacting the world in a mighty way. I just want to say off the bat that this woman is phenomenal. And I don't use that word loosely, but she is. And she is joining us with our new series for January, your Get Your House in Order. And your house, we're talking about a couple of houses. We're talking about your physical house, which is your body, your temple, eating right, living right, giving your body the best of what it needs to make sure that it performs optimally. We're also going to be talking about in this series, your financial house, managing your debts, improving your credit, and purchasing big ticket items. We're talking about your literal house, meaning decluttering, getting rid of things that you no longer need. You know you got too much stuff. And so getting rid of things you no longer need, and then blessing other people with some of the stuff that you do have that's like in an overflow, in abundance. And then there's your spiritual house, connecting with God on a personal, deeper, intimate, relational level. This is all coming to you from the Woman Up Nation in the month of January. Again, where our series is Get Your House in Order. And I'm so happy to really be in the presence of this lady, Whamae, Coach Whamae.
Yes.
I've known you for a while, and ever since I've known you, you have been the same woman in integrity wise, moral wise, value. And that's why I have you on this podcast, the Woman Up Nation, because you're already a woman up woman. And I want you to help usher in a new legacy of women who's living in their truth and really just doing right by what God has called them to do. So thank you for joining us today. That's a mouthful of introductions, but I'm just excited because it's the new year, and I probably need to take off this New Year's hat. But happy New Year
I love
to
it.
everyone.
Keep it on.
Keep it on. Okay, if you said it, I'll keep it on.
Go ahead and just keep it on.
Well, I'm so happy that you're joining us.
It's getting me excited about 2026. I'm like, yes, lead the way, Alisha.
A lot of things good is going to happen in 2026.
I believe it.
You know,
I do.
And I'm excited. Some people,
Yes.
you know, they get anxious in a way because they don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I'm a bigger believer, and I'm not so much into New Year's resolution, but I'm into lifestyle changes and making better choices in life, right? And so first, before we get into who you really are, I always say you can learn a lot about a person from their childhood.
Yes.
Tell me about your childhood.
Yes. Oh, wow. So my childhood, I was born to teen parents.
Mm-hmm.
In Monrovia, Liberia, which is in West Africa. And my parents really didn't have a hold on the whole parental thing. Number one, my father had never been a father. Yeah. My mother had already had 3 other children in her teen years. Okay. And so by the time I came along, it was like at a point where my father was preparing to head to the army, and my mom, you know, was a little overwhelmed with raising the children. So the grandparents stepped in, and I was raised by my father's mother, who was a Black American, indigenous roots as well. She went back to West Africa, to Liberia, started the country's first garbage company.
Wow.
Basically established our family there. And my grandmother raised me, you know, she raised me to really just have pride in my African heritage, as well as my indigenous roots as well. I didn't know as much about that aspect until I got older, but as a child, I grew up in Monrovia, Liberia, and then my country went into a war.
Right.
And I came to the United States when I was about 9 years old. And I've been here since, looking forward to going back to Liberia.
Yes.
Things became more stable somewhere in the 2000s, but the country was at war for a very, very long
Mm-hmm.
time. And so I couldn't go back and came here. And as many of us, out there, there was childhood trauma. I'm an overcomer of childhood SA, as we say on social media. I know we can't always say the word. So that had an effect on me. It wasn't my grandmother's fault. Sometimes you don't know who is a predator in
Right.
the midst of nice
Absolutely.
spaces. And so, unfortunately, there were predators around, and God, by his grace, allowed me to overcome that. And my
Wow.
grandmother was an entrepreneur. I come from a entrepreneurial family and a kingdom family, a family that, is faith filled. They imparted the word of God into me, the love of Jesus into me. And so my childhood had a lot of nuances to it. There were things that were very detrimental to my well being as a child, but at the same time, I actually came from a very loving
Very.
family and a grandmother who taught us to stay close together and to build legacy.
Absolutely. You said a
Yeah.
lot, and
Yeah.
I would like to kind of unpack some of the things that you said.
Hmm.
When we're dealing with, like you say, SA, we
Yeah.
use it for a euphemism for to kind of mask some of the severity of what you had to deal with.
Hmm.
How did that and first apply to both your parents because
Hmm.
they're only using the tools that they know to
I have.
use,
Yep.
and then apply to grandma because grandma
Yeah.
was holding it down, raising you, teaching you about entrepreneurship and building a legacy. And so,
Yeah.
when you sometimes hear those things, it's almost like, polar opposites. You
Yeah.
had this going on, but you also had this greatness that you were living with. You know,
Yeah.
how do you think that changed or formed the trajectory of who you are today?
It impacted me greatly. When children are abused in that way, in any form of abuse, but I didn't realize how it affected me until it actually affected my health at 19. I started to struggle with depression, suicidal ideations. And when I went to check on a bulge that was in my lower abdominals, I found out I had a cyst on my ovary the size of a grapefruit. And it would take me many years later, it would take me into my 40s to really look at this pattern that came from this attempt of the enemy to destroy my life as a little girl. And it affected my reproductive system, it affected my brain health, it affected so much of my process. And so it put me in a fight or flight mode for
Right.
many, many years. Yeah. I would even say I'm very transparent about it because I feel like a lot of leaders, if we're not careful, we can put on this self righteous type of front,
Absolutely.
like I've arrived.
Right.
I've been on and off in therapy for many years, and I didn't really start to address the issue until I was actually in my 40s. Yeah. But it
What is that?
definitely affects people. It's important to know it affects that sort of abuse, especially when it's sexual. It can affect a child's processing through puberty. It can affect,
Absolutely.
of course, our mental health. I struggled with digestive issues. And then, like I said, the cyst that formed on my ovaries. But thank God that he found a way of escape for me. And he's been graciously helping me on this journey
Wow.
through wellness. And it has been through wellness that I've been able to make some major strides in my healing process.
It's crazy when you hear people's story because I never knew that about
Yeah.
you and your story. And I
Hmm.
didn't think that was going to be part of what you're going to share. But I'm
Yeah.
so grateful that you were transparent because To me, looking at you, what I see and what I can say is you don't have to stay in your brokenness. You
That's
know,
right.
and what I loved about what you did with your life, you sought help and you got the
Hmm.
therapy, and you said you had been intermittently still in
I,
therapy.
I'm still in therapy. I start therapy again in January. Um, See, what's really important is the journey. It's never about the arrival.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is this is a journey, and the way that I coach, the way that I work with individuals is from a very transparent place. And it's, I think what helps to liberate me from the pressure of being perfect. For
Wow.
me, it's
Those
really important.
Can you say that
Yeah,
part again? The
so being
liberation.
transparent and sharing my story, sharing my struggles, sharing the things I've overcome, and at times I'm still overcoming, it helps
Hmm.
me to take the pressure off from being perfect, because social media
Wow.
and the internet, there's a lot of like pretty words and pretty faces and filters and images and content and all these things, right? But I believe for me, I think what the Lord wants me to do is to share. We overcome by the blood
Yes.
of the Lamb and the
And
word
it's
of our
Lord.
testimony.
Yes,
And so,
absolutely.
my testimony it really is a powerful one. It continues to be.
And
But yeah, I started therapy in my 40s. I did some things when I was younger. I think when I was younger, when I came to the Lord, when I came to Christ, I think my first realm of healing, if you will, was to submerge myself into church,
right.
and into the church, and I was raised that way, and it was what I felt. Okay, I broke through all of that. I broke through my anger at God. Let me now submit myself as this leader in the church. But little did I
Hmm.
know, God had a bigger calling for me. But I'm so grateful because we need the body of Christ. We need one another. The Each joint supplies, so I'm
Right,
grateful for the
absolutely.
body, grateful for all the leaders, the mentors that have been in my life. So many people have helped to keep me going.
You are so eloquent with your story too. And
Mm,
so you know what I keep hearing in my spirit, what the devil tried to steal, kill, and destroy, God has catapulted you to a new level. You
yeah,
know, because it's so many people that I even speak with that has experienced some kind of trauma. It doesn't have to be SA. It could
yeah,
be any kind of traumatic experience,
yeah,
but they have not been able to pull themselves out of these experiences. And
yeah,
so they develop into people that God never intended for them to be. And so
yes,
I'm so glad that you're like, again, like I said earlier,
yeah,
you're able to be transparent and share your story. And it
yeah.
didn't stop you. Your
No,
past
no.
actually set you up for your future, because now
Mhm.
you are the founder and CEO of the Mark
Yes, ma'am.
Total Body Wellness Network. The devil didn't stop
Yeah.
you. He thought he was going to block you and impede on your greatness, and he didn't do that. And
No.
so tell me about the Mark, if we can transition to that,
Yes. Yes.
being the founder and the CEO of the Mark Total Body Wellness Network. I love to say it too.
I know the mark.
Tell me, what does this
Yes.
name mean to you? The Mark, and the Mark
Gosh,
is all capital letters. Mark. Tell me what that
that's
word
right.
means to you.
Oh man, so it comes from Philippians 3:14. I press towards the mark of the high calling. And the mark, the title means so much more to me today than even the day that it was imparted in me. I was at a prayer meeting at the House of Prayer, and I was contending for inner city restoration, which is one of my passions. And, I'm just crying out to God, doing the intercessory rock, like, Lord, bring revival to the inner cities. And I'm just, crying out to God. And I heard the mark. It was just so clear. And I would always have my journal in the prayer meetings, because I knew the Lord would speak to me and I could write things down, or people needed prayer. So when I wrote it down, I didn't. fully understand like I do, and I'm sure throughout the duration of my life, it will continue to be revealed. But in that very moment, I knew that God wanted me to build something that would invite people into a transformation
Mm.
experience.
Mm.
And that is what the mark is about. So we press towards the
First,
mark of the high calling, right? We all have shadow work to do. We've got to break
right.
up this fallow ground of our hearts. We've got to get into the place that will give us the power, the healing, the authority, the breakthrough in order to press and hit the mark. So the mark is
Hit the mark.
actually, yeah, it's an archery term. I'm sorry, not the
Yes.
mark, but sin. The word sin is an archery term, and what it means is when the archer would the bow and the arrow, and they would release it, and if it would miss the target, they would call it sin. And so that's to sin is to miss the
Miss the
mark.
mark. You're preaching a
Exactly.
thing, preaching a word here.
Listen,
Miss
here
the
we go.
mark.
Take that one, y'all. Yeah. So the mark is we press towards the mark, right? We're
Right.
pressing through our flesh. We're pressing to the desires of our flesh. Some people struggle with
Mm.
gluttony. Some people struggle with substance addiction. Some people, struggle in a way that it seems like there's no way out. Can't let
Yes.
go of the past. And it's a press. And I think it's important that we express it as such because if we don't, we then paint this self-righteous, we just arrive and we,
Facade. Right.
yes, and it really isn't that, right? Really, we all know what it's like to have to let something go, to let go of
Absolutely.
those ho-hos, or for some of you out there, maybe McDonald's or fast food, and your blood pressure is up. Okay, we got to break up this fallow ground, and we gonna have to let it go. Or maybe for some of you, it's that man. He's so fine, my man, my
Yeah.
man, my man, and you need to let him go.
Uh-huh. Because he's making you miss the mark.
You're
Whatever that
missing the
mark
mark.
is, right?
That's
He's
right,
making
right.
you
You're in a
miss the.
toxic situation. You got to get out.
Gotta get
So,
out.
yeah, so we're all contending in this press towards the mark. And so that
Towards
was
the
what the
mark.
name came from. But I have a fresh revelation of it from the standpoint of the actual press. I think in the beginning it was all about the mark. Like, okay, the
Right.
mark, we were going to build this company that would be a network, and it is a network. So the mark itself is a network of wellness services and strategies to help people enter into a transformation that is sustainable and
Sustainable.
lifelong.
I'm
And
glad
so,
you
yeah.
transitioned because you're talking about that because I want to transition into that. Like you are a
Hmm.
holistic wellness coach and a
Yeah.
strategist. First, I wanted to break that down. Like, what is a holistic wellness coach first?
Yes. So, a holistic wellness coach within my scope, I am focusing on a person's journey into their breakthrough. What
Okay.
will be needed? And so there's the strategy. So that's why I'm also a strategist. So let's just say you come to me and you're like, I have high blood pressure, diabetes, and I assess you and I realize, okay, Alicia, you haven't moved in your body in 2 years. You get up, you go to
Mm-hmm.
work, there's just been no physical activity.
Right.
Maybe there's been an exasperated amount of weight gain, so we're going to look at that. Like, okay, so what's going on with your eating habits? What's going
Okay.
on with your life? So once I'm able to assess, then the next step is to piece together coaching that helps you to work on your personal development,
So is that where the
work on your
strategizing come in? The
this
part
is
of
where
your
the strategizing comes in, yes. So
okay.
the mark itself is a network of tools and what we call synergy tools that facilitate total body wellness transformation. That's mind,
Total
body,
body.
soul, spirit, everything you can imagine. We have a conglomerate of tools and access to those tools. We also have partners. So I partner with one of the top superfood companies in the world where the farmers of this company, Purium, wind dehydrate superfoods for cellular regeneration. So we have that. We also have a team of naturopaths and other coaches that we partner with to facilitate
Mm,
various cohorts. And then our mainstay is called the E3 Coaching Club. And so this is where I take about 30 to 40 people a year through transformations. It's a 1 year commitment, and these individuals are transforming on a physical level. So,
okay.
movement mastery, we empower three different elements: movement mastery, nutritional reset, and personal development. And
Oh, wow.
so the members of our coaching club, the E3 Club, they get to work with me on a deeply personal level where I really take them through that transformation. Now, within the network itself, I'm doing a variety of things, such as working with different organizations, some corporate contracts, working
Mm-hmm.
with the doctors, the naturopaths we work with, working with Purium, working in advocacy to bring better quality foods to our communities. So the network itself is a macrocosm, but the free club is the hub by which I coach our
Wow.
members.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you go to, especially with the new year starting, we make all
Mhm.
these new year resolutions. And at the
Yes.
top, probably top five is always, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to eat
Yeah.
better. I'm going to live better. I'm going to lose weight. That's me.
Yes.
I'm good. So we have all these New Year resolutions, but what I love about what you said that you offer is it's a network. It's not just you
Mhm.
go into the gym, you work out, and you don't
Mhm.
know how to push through your hunger cravings or mindless eating but you have a whole
A
network,
network.
as you said,
Mhm.
that is able to help me be successful at whatever my goal, at whatever the strategies we sit down and
Yeah.
set.
And
Right?
my focus, the free club members are legacy builders, high
Yes, ma'am.
achievers, and purpose driven leaders. So that's my primary niche. Now, within the network, we do a variety of things, and I've got digital products and lots of things people can access just, where they are. But my niche and my primary focus are leaders. So
Okay.
all of the people I work with, their transformations are leading them to major events and breakthroughs in their lives. I'll give you an example. Kendrea Moorer, who just wrote Leading from the Middle. She's an author and a
Hey, author.
phenomenal entrepreneur. Yes. And so Kendrea went through a 1 year transformation. She's lost over 60 pounds
My
and she
goodness.
just launched her book. And so she looked absolutely fabulous at her book release. Many of my
Wow.
other members, Rhonda, Delka Logan, Rhonda, she started at 74. She's on her way to 79 years old. And Miss
Oh,
Rhonda,
Miss Rhonda.
yes, in her transformation, she is now a Chair One fitness instructor. And we got her certified, took her through her
What?
transformation.
So
She is
you're never too
absolutely
old. You're
gorgeous.
never too
No,
old to start
no.
something new.
No, I'm almost 50 years old. For those of you out there, I'll be 50 on May 10th.
And you look
And
30.
thank you so much. It's an honor. And I love helping people turn the clock back around. It's a skill, it's an art. And it's really helping a person to fight against sometimes forces they're not even aware of that are destroying the health. And so a lot of my members are in the aging community in the second half of life, 40 and above. I do have some younger people I work with as well, but most of the members are leaders and people who are building legacy for their family, high achieving leaders, purpose driven leaders that want to make an impact, whether it's on their family, on their community, a brand they're building, something they're building. They
Okay.
want to show
Okay.
up as their
As
best
the
self.
best selves, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I keep hearing you use this word, high achievers.
Yes.
Tell me, does everybody have to be a high achiever, or entrepreneur, or
Yeah.
leading somewhere, or
That's a
will you
very good
see the
question.
average Joe
Yeah,
or
that's a
average
really good question,
Joanne?
Alicia.
So
I'll tell you like this. I generally won't work with a person who's just looking for a personal trainer because I'm not a
okay,
personal trainer. So sometimes people associate that with me because my foundation is fitness,
Right.
but I'll break down each person, and it can be a conglomerate, right? I can have a person who's all three. A legacy builder would be someone who's like, let's just say, a mom that's coming in, and she's recognizing, I need to get my health better for my
Right.
family.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn how to become a healthier individual so I can inspire my family, be an inspiration to my husband who's, struggling with high blood pressure, be an inspiration to my children because, obesity runs in my family. So that would be that
Right.
legacy builder. Someone who
Okay.
really wants to establish health, wellness, and movement, fitness, the holistic lifestyle in their family. And then high achievers, those are just the driven people, the people that go
Right.
till they burn out. They hit a wall.
As a new client, can you walk me through like the process?
Yeah. So once a person signs up into the E3 club and I assess, where they are, and I kind of like, okay, this person's, you know, um, I want to talk about the purpose driven leaders as well. So purpose driven leaders, that person that's like, feels like they have a calling and a mission from God. They are really focused on their generally, ministers and people that are doing work in the nonprofit sector, things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So sometimes I have people who are all three. Many times
Mm-hmm.
people are some format. That's why I use those three words, just to give a broad scope but still
Mm-hmm.
contain it on the types of people that I'm looking to work with. I'm not the person to work with if you're, you just want to get a big butt. You
Right.
just like,
Okay.
I just want to come to the gym. I just want to get a big butt. I just want to get a nice shape.
As you said,
I
you're
can give you lots of
holistic.
trainers. Yeah, I'm looking for people who really want they want a transformation. They want to level up their brands. They've got photo shoots coming up. They have family crisis going on. They're
Right.
aware, like, man, I really want to make changes. I've got lots of couples. Sometimes the wives will start and then their husbands will come along, or vice versa. I've got, you know, women like Kendrea who had to get ready for this book release. She's traveling all over the world, very
Wow.
busy woman. So she needs a plan of action,
A plan of action.
because what happens when we're busy with our families, busy with building our businesses, we can easily get burned out because we forget
Yeah.
about ourselves.
Yeah, and that's
We get more
why I
focused
really
on the
wanted
mission.
you here is because as women we do
Yeah.
that a lot. We put ourselves on the back burner
Yeah.
and we take care of our
Yeah.
spouses, we take care of our children, we're taking care of the things, usually domestic things and things that will get you off
Hmm.
kilter of taking care of yourself. And it's so powerful when
Yeah.
when you're what you're saying is just really hitting home. Hitting home with so many women, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 70s. We all go through these cycles in life where we're just not putting ourselves first. What
Mhm.
would you say to a woman who is already a high achiever and
Yeah.
want to get her life back, her and create the legacy and to get her
Mm.
physical house in order?
Yeah.
What would you say to that woman who want to get her physical house in order?
Yes. I would say to you, I want you to give yourself grace, number one.
Hmm.
And I want you to realize you won't be able to do it alone. That doesn't
Right.
take away from your strength or your power, but I want
Absolutely.
you to be real about what it will actually take. And that means you have to ask yourself, what level of transformation do I need?
Mm-hmm.
Is it spiritual? Is it mental? Is it financial? What's going on in the scope of my life that is in need of a breakthrough? Where am I burnt out in?
Right.
And once you're able to assess that, then the next step begins. This is where we begin to look at the strategy, the synergy
Okay.
that will be needed in order to facilitate helping that woman to create a rhythm, and daily rhythm, weekly rhythm, monthly rhythm, seasonal rhythm, and then a yearly rhythm. And in that rhythm, they begin to experience transformation. And it's a process.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like what you said. Is a transformation, is a process. And so for the listeners or the viewers, we again get into these mindsets that we can do it all. And
Hmm.
what we have been doing have not been working. And
Right.
so I want us for the new year to really grasp what you're saying, to get
Yes.
it in our spirits, souls, bodies, minds, that we need somebody. We
Yes.
can't walk this journey alone, and none of us should feel like we're an island because,
Yeah.
again, what we've been doing by ourselves, for the most part, may work, but there's always this sense that we need somebody else to help guide us through the next
Yeah.
phase of our life. And especially with the new year here, we really want to get on the right footing for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
I love that you offer some extraordinary sources and tools and some classes.
Hmm.
I want to jump into those because you have
Yeah.
this reset experience for high
Yes.
achievers. I just want to talk about some of the service that you offer.
Yes.
Tell me about this
Yes.
reset experience for high
So with the
achievers.
reset experience, that was actually birthed out of realizing that number one, a lot of people think that I only work with women. I don't. Within the E3 Club, our members are men, women, families. We facilitate um, these 1 year transformations, but I wanted to do a cohort that was specifically for high achieving women, these driven women like ourselves who
Yes, ma'am.
go and go and go until we hit a wall.
Did you put me in that
And
category, Miss
okay,
Whamae?
you in there, Alicia? We coming. We bringing you into the reset experience. Yeah. So I started working on it at the end of 24, and then going into 25, I birthed it. We came together not only for the process of refreshing and learning how to hit the reset button so that we could get in the
Hmm.
rhythm of the movement mastery, the nutritional resetting, and the personal development. And so for those 6 weeks, each week there are things that we do that are restorative. And so the first cohort I did by myself, and I realized, I don't want to teach emotional wellness because it's not my scope,
Right. You know
right?
your
Like there's some
lane.
elements to
Hmm.
it that I do, but I'm like, there's a deeper dive in this cohort that the women need. And so I ended up connecting with Coach Irina Currington, who wrote a book called Reclaim Your Radiance. And
Ooh,
so we are
powerful.
now closing out our sixth reset experience this year. We did six of them, and
Wow.
they were all
See,
just phenomenal. I believe it was six. It may be five.
you've been
I have to
busy
double check
though.
on that.
If
We've
there's
been
six
busy.
weeks, right?
Yeah. So when the women come in, number one, they're plugging in with Coach Irina to do the not only emotional work, but the organizational work. So she works with helping with emotional mastery, which leads to then being able to organize. Because when our emotions are all over the place, it's difficult to organize.
Very
Not to
true.
mention women who are going through perimenopause, menopause, but yet they're still building their businesses. My offering to the Reset Experience is everything E3 Club. So I bring all the
Okay.
E3 Club
E3.
tools in there, and then of course some additional tools that are just focused on high achieving women and their wellness, and we have connection calls. The For those 6 weeks, the ladies have access to everything the mark, unlimited
Wow.
sessions at
Okay.
the gym or virtual, which is both. I have a gym here I partner with in Columbus, but I do online coaching and training as well. And
Okay.
so for those 6 weeks, we're really just helping that woman to reignite her spark and to do it from the inside out, a deep dive on the inside and see what's going on that has created these patterns and these habits that are sabotaging your breakthrough.
So you
And
sit
then,
down and really actually have conversations with
yeah,
your
and we have
clients
other
and
coaches
yeah.
too that come in. We have Coach Nikki Hampton. She's doing a in the spring. Some ladies are running a half marathon, so she has
Oh,
a runners group she started. I thought that would be wonderful for women who wanted to get into running. We have Tracy Latana, who facilitates the financial wellness workshops, and she's been a wonderful coach that I've worked with. And we also have Dr. Izzy who comes on and she does workshops on naturopathy and holistic health. And we have a mental health expert on
Okay.
in the group as well. And that's Ashley Smith, and she's a phenomenal Kingdom woman who is an LPC and facilitates the mental health workshop. So we do a lot of different things without it being overwhelming. We try not to like create an overwhelming atmosphere, but we really are sensitive to doing things like bi-weekly, but yet setting goals. And the ladies have access to one-on-ones with me, with Coach Irina, and the other coaches as well.
But it sounds so really incredible that you set these clients, I won't say
Hmm.
ladies, you set these clients up for
Yeah.
success with all the networking and all the coaches that's involved. It sounds to me like if you fail because you failed, not
Yes.
because you don't have the village around you to help you succeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And tell me about this ultimate lifestyle transformation, this 90-day detox.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big part of some of the major tools that our community has access to. When I was 43 years old, 42 actually, I started an ultimate lifestyle transformation. This was right after the pandemic. I had in our Power Juicers program, where I teach people about juice detoxing, and I was creating like 121 juice blends for 100 people a week. It was crazy.
Oh,
People were
wow.
wanting to heal, and I started a Facebook group during the pandemic. And during all of that, I really, you know, got a little burnt out trying to
Hmm.
make all of those juices, and I was like, this
That's
is
a
a
lot.
lot.
You're right.
But also too, I was very mindful about the types of partnerships that I would create. Like, I didn't want anything that was not of the earth, integral, that I felt proud of being in my company and was
Mm.
proud to share. And so I did my ultimate lifestyle transformation. It's a superfood protocol where you get to not only detox the body of toxins, you also get to restore your cells. So these superfoods are juiced when dehydrated. The farmers curate the kits, they get delivered to you, and you go through a 90-day transformation
Really?
with a meal plan. You do get to eat.
Okay.
The goal is we're removing all processed foods. We're
Okay. And all
removing
those
things.
toxins. Okay.
That's right. And I'm showing you, my customized kits for each one. It comes with these cool little blenders. And even though it's in powder form, these are actual foods from the earth. Like, we're blending up the
Right.
superfoods in coconut water or coconut milk. We make amazing smoothies with them. And then we also, really work on eliminating processed food. So I've been doing that since I was 43. I'm getting
Okay.
ready to start my 15th one. You all are
Oh,
invited to
okay.
join, and I do them, whether a person's in the E3 club or not. Of course, all of our members end up doing them, whether they're coming in full throttle with the ULT, what we call the Ultimate Lifestyle
Right.
Transformation, the ULT, along with, everything else that they're working on within the E3 club or the Reset Experience. But the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation is curated by a company called Purium. And
Hearing you.
yes, and David Sandoval is the owner. He is a wellness advocate, just genius of a man who God has anointed to bring the earth back into our lives and make it easy for us too, because it's not easy going to Whole Foods and spending like $1,000, on all this stuff you need
Right.
when you can get something so simple that's already curated for less than $13 a day, you
It's
know.
amazing. It's amazing, how we have gotten so far away from eating what the earth produces. And I can speak
Mhm.
to this as a recent, within the last couple of years. My husband and I started a community garden at our church.
Wonder.
When you taste the food from the earth, how God intended for it to taste, and how
Yes.
God intended it for us to eat it, it's a different experience. It
Yes.
really is like this spiritual thing. And I know
Yes.
people think it's probably weird that I say food is spiritual, but it is.
Yes,
and it brings you life. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. That's part of the cellular
that's right.
reset, right?
Yes, it's resetting. It's not just resetting, but it's regenerating. So
Regenerating.
even when I start this 15th one, there are new elements that I'm adding. There's new superfoods, new herbs, adaptogens that I've recently added to help me through this process of great hormonal change that's happening in my life. And it has been amazing. I mean, I am in optimal health, not because everything is always perfect, but it's because I always have an apothecary that I can go to of my
Absolutely.
resources, of my superfoods, my herbs, my adaptogens. And I also continuously add new elements to strengthen myself as I'm aging.
So you're constantly learning, and what
Yeah.
used to work in our 20s may no
Yes.
longer work in our
Yes.
40s, 50s, 60s, and above,
Definitely.
and so you have
Yeah.
to be, when you're in life and you're different, you're transitioning into different seasons, you have to know the season. It's
You
like you
do.
wouldn't wear a tank top when it's 30 below, and you got
Yes.
snow on the ground. You have to learn your different seasons in your life, and you have to
Mhm.
learn how to transition into those seasons in your life. And
Yes.
part of those transitions is starting by treating your temple, taking care of your physical house just as well as you do
Yes.
your other houses that we'll talk about in
Yes.
this series. But you
Yes.
also mentioned you have a Mark Fit app.
Yes, we have an app, which is really cool. We partnered with a company called Virtua Gym a few years ago, and the Mark Fit app is where our clients get their workout plan in. And so let's just say someone's like, Whamae, I'm going to Greece and I'll be gone for a week.
Uh-huh.
They have access to the app, which has their workouts in there. It's like an AI character that looks like me, and then they've got the guy one for the guys. And
Oh
so
wow. Like
yeah,
your
so our clients,
avatar.
yep, the little avatar that moves and shows the proper form and everything. And so our clients love that because it also creates independence, which I'm big on. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want people to learn from me, but I don't want people to depend on me,
So be accountable for your own
if that makes
results.
sense. Yeah, so even if a person is coming to Next Level Fitness, where I partner the gym here, or they're coming online and they're at the gym and they have their camera set up and we're doing it that way. However we're doing it, the objective is to educate and empower you about movement. So you understand breath control, you understand contracting your muscles, you understand form and the anatomical planes and all the things that I teach. And these things I impart into our members. It's like a whole language that they learn that generally they wouldn't learn if they just went to a personal trainer.
So you're always constantly teaching within
Mhm,
teaching.
mhm.
And so can you tell us, like, what are some of the results with
Oh,
everything that you have going on to make this tempo better? What are some of
mhm.
the results that you hear from your clients?
The results are so phenomenal. I literally every week am in tears, like praising God,
Wow.
as I'm seeing people not just lose weight, they're finding themselves. The warrior within.
You to really say that they're finding themselves, and
Mhm.
themselves that may have been lost because they
They
put
are
put
finding
themselves.
themselves. I'll give you an example. Yes, ma'am. Like an example would be my client Kim. When she came, she was under so much distress, a woman in her mid 60s. I remember our third workout. I assessed that she needed some one on one time. And so I said, you know what? I don't want you to come to the gym. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. Because
Wow.
she happened to be a client here in Columbus. So I went to her house, and she's at the time only working with like 3 pound weights. And she doesn't mind if I tell this story because we tell it all the time. She started crying and she started weeping.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a pause to speak life over her.
Yes.
And she'd been used to some trainers that were pushing her and like, what's the big deal? Come on, come on, let's get. I'm not
Right.
like that. I'm like, if we need to
Too
pause and
aggressive.
pray,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if we need to pause and pray, You need a moment. I'm a strong trainer and coach, but I don't break people's spirit. Like, I'm really big on that. I want
Right.
people to feel safe and comfortable with me because it requires trust to go through this transformation. So if
Absolutely.
she's crying, who would have known that months later she's lost over 25 pounds?
Oh, wow.
She is getting in the best shape of her life. Her progress pictures are just phenomenal. She lost so much inflammation in her back. Ladies, you know how we get the big back?
Yes.
You know, her back, she's one of our back stars. Her back is developing so beautifully and
Go
she's so
on, Miss
strong. And
Kim.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And she did the ultimate lifestyle transformation. She did the full throttle. And 60, I think 63 years old, just powerful to witness.
So
So many different stories.
it's not just changing the physical body, it's changing the spiritual and
Mhm.
the emotional and
Yes.
the whole body.
The
Mind,
whole
body,
body,
spirit, soul,
everything,
everything.
everything.
I love when holistic people have a different language that they speak. You know,
Yes.
they're not.
Yes.
I love what you said when she was crying. You didn't stop and you weren't aggressive about her training. You saw another
Hmm.
need and you were
Yes.
able to minister to her in such a way that build trust. You help build these people to build their own legacies.
That's right. That's right. And I love the fact that as a believer, I get to work with people from all walks of life. There's nobody that I turn away, and I don't use my faith to judge people or to harm them in any way. I'm very slow to speak and swift to hear what God is saying
Yes.
about a particular person. I pray for everyone. We actually have prayer. We had prayer this morning every Monday at 5:30 a.m. And so we start the week off online with prayer. So members and just anyone is welcome
Mm.
to the Mark prayer time. It doesn't, you don't have to be a member. God really gives us that spiritual foundation so that we're able to press and we're able to have the faith to focus on our wellness.
And I hope you agree with me. You're a healer.
I
You
am.
know, you're
Yeah.
healing people and your network, you all are healers and you're healing people from so much because when you see a person who has gained weight in a short amount of time, it's something else going on with
Yeah.
that individual where they're not just, I was going to say we're not, but they're not, whoever that individual is isn't just dealing with just eating. It's usually deeper than that. And I
Yeah.
love that you deal with that person and you're dealing with those clients in that
Yes.
manner, in that holistic manner.
Yes. It's such a calling. And when you said you're a healer and I said yes I am, because
Mm-hmm.
I've been embracing that is truly what I've been called to. And I see it. If someone can tell me something
Mm.
going on with them and I know how to strategize, not just to get them results, but to get to their heart so that they
That's deep.
have the strength and the power to do what they need to do.
To do what they
And
need to
so
do.
that's what I do. And then I facilitate that sometimes beyond my scope into the realm of the doctors. Like we had Tony Gavea, who was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer,
Jesus.
and it affected all down into his mouth. We got him the ultimate lifestyle transformation. His family moved him into chemo and all of those things. The hospitals didn't want the superfoods in there. They'd rather give him Ensure. And so the
Oh,
intercessors
wow.
began to pray. And we was like, all right, we're going to pray so he can at least get out the hospital.
Right.
So we prayed and we prayed. He was literally on the brink of death. I mean, when you look at those pictures of him and then you see what happened when he came home and he started his ultimate lifestyle transformation, within 5 weeks, he was already back into his fitness training,
Wow.
and the cancer completely was eradicated from his brain.
Oh man, you about to
Mhm.
make me do a Holy Ghost dance over here. I'm trying to. What?
We do them all the time.
Man,
Yes.
it's stories like that. I'm so glad that you're able to share those stories, because it's stories
Yeah.
like that to remind us that this kind of lifestyle is achievable, and
Hmm.
this kind of lifestyle is healing people, and it truly does work.
It does.
Are there any specials that you're going to be running for this new year?
I actually am. Okay, so I have 5 more spaces available for the free club. It is a 1 year membership. You can either do the payment for the year or you can do quarterly payments. And
Okay.
so it is customized, based on what a person's specific needs are. So we have 5 more spaces for that available. We
Just
do have
five. Just five.
just five. But there's some other great things to plug into, such as for you ladies, since this is for you women nation out there, women that are
Mm-hmm.
on the rise in the kingdom. We do have the reset experience coming up, and that is open. We usually open that spot up to about 20-25 women. So that is
Is that the
yes.
detox?
Yep. And
Okay.
that is actually the 6 week cohort. So we do
Okay.
have that available. That will be starting in March. And so we're going to do some setups, in advance for that. And then the ultimate lifestyle transformation, we do have those who want to do some superfood resetting, detoxing.
Right.
That is a great segue to come in, and we start our group reset on the 15th of January. So we are ordering
15th of
kits now.
January.
And so your viewers can go to my link tree and schedule a consultation with me. I
Yes,
love to
ma'am.
do one-on-one consultations. We'll jump online for about 15 or 20 minutes and talk about what your specific goals are, and we
Okay.
will customize, whether it's you're one of the 5 people that left for the free club, or getting into the reset experience, or doing the ultimate lifestyle transformation, or a combination. So
I love it that
we're,
it's a one-stop shop. It's not
yeah,
a one size fit all. What
right.
works
Yeah.
for you may not work for me. And so what I love that you
Yeah.
sit down and you actually customize and strategize success for individuals.
That's right.
How
That's
can
right.
people, because you threw that out there real fast. I need to know,
Yes.
how can people get in touch with your phenomenal self and your network? How can we reach
Yes.
out to you?
You can reach out to me. You'll get access to everything. You'll go into linktree.com/Coach Wah. And there you'll find the Mark's website. You're going to have a $50 gift card in there, if you want to
Oh
just go into the
wow.
superfood store and order some superfood. So get your gift card, go in
Happy
there
New
and get you some
Year.
samples.
Look,
Who's
look.
giving away $50? All right, I'm giving you $50. So towards your wellness. And you'll also have my YouTube channel. I want to give a plug to my podcast is dropping on the
Come on now.
1st. Yes, it's called the Well Podcast, hosted by yours truly. So
Yes.
you're going to be coming into the well, getting refreshed,
I love
and
it. I love
everything
it.
wellness for purpose driven leaders. So super excited.
Oh man, you are doing some amazing things. So there's many ways for someone to connect with you. You're out there,
Yes.
you're doing your thing, and you're doing an amazing job.
Thank
I just
you.
want to say
Thank you, Lisa.
congratulations to everything that's going to happen to you, everything that has happened to you that has built you up to the woman that you are today. You are
Thank you,
definitely a
sweetheart.
woman of